Hello there, guys, and welcome to the easiest and most purely profitable business plan in the world. Now, you might be wondering, well, how do you say that this is the easiest, most purely profitable business plan in the world? That's such a blunt statement to be made out there. But let me tell you, I mean, you're gonna be stunned. This course is if you're looking for a way to make money online, if you still have not made it up until today, then this course is practically for you. Well suited, well designed for beginners, guys who have lost hope of making any form of money online. Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing is for you, is the business for you. All right. And so let's go ahead. Now, many of you have been interested or are interested in online business, and obviously you've heard that in order to conduct online business, there is something that you need to have. It's basic. It's something that you need to have. You need to have a website. Everybody told you that. Everybody tells you that. If you go on videos, if you go on forums, if you go on blogs, if you read books, they tell you, well, if you want to become an affiliate marketer, you got to have a website. If you want to be this, you got to have a website. If you want to have a channel, you have a website. Obviously, these guys are not lying, because once you get your website to a high level and once you set it up on fire, it starts making you a lot of money. But there's just the problem of how much money are you willing to spend on a website to take it off ground. And if we run the comparison between creating a website and launching a website business, spending countless nights creating the content, crafting the content, making sure the website design is right, A/B testing, getting traffic in and out, trying stuff, all of that is going to take you at least 5 years to figure out how to make money from a website. And I'm telling you this from experience, because I thought that at the beginning when I started out, well, you just make a website. This was my thinking, or I'm sharing with you how I was thinking at the time. So I said, well, just create a website and it's going to start working for you. I had a very simplistic mindset back then, but then I realized that there are a bunch of other websites with not just thousands of pages, with tens of thousands of pages of pure content. And most of these websites were already ranked. They have all the backlinks that you can imagine. They have all the characteristics of a great website. And so I found the domain to be high competition. Found myself competing in a completely red ocean. Now, of course, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a couple of websites that I run and they're very profitable. It took me a lot of time to get there, but eventually I got there. But websites and making money from websites as an affiliate marketer, as a blogger, is not the only thing that I do. I mean, I've done e-commerce. I've done probably a lot of things. All right, so I've done a bunch of things. I've made money from a lot of venues. I have a lot of income streams, and from the income streams that I have, there is Amazon KDP. Now, you might have heard Amazon KDP a lot. Well, Amazon KDP, Amazon KDP. Well, this course is the crash course where I explain to you how you can make 4 to 5 to even 6 figures per year on Amazon KDP with my strategy. Now, obviously, the reason why you don't want to mess with Google, you don't want to play with Google, you don't want to go the hard way, because let me give you a little bit of back history, because most people need to have the back history. Now, Google, back at the time, before 2013, before the first Google algorithm update, Hummingbird, Google was really a piece of cake. And the reason why it was a piece of cake is because at the time, there was high competition between Google and other search engines like Yahoo, like DuckDuckGo. So there was competition, all right? And so Google, just like Facebook, did, in 2013, they made it easy for people. They made it easier for content creators to just create websites, just add any content you wanted to, as long as it gets the eyeballs. That's what they wanted. They wanted people to create as many websites as possible. They wanted as much content in there as possible. And they paid website owners generously for ads that they ran on their website. I mean, I remember practically me and some guys, we had these websites, these farm websites. We call them farm websites, and we had a bunch of websites, about 30 websites. All of these websites were created for a single purpose. We add content onto them, and all that content is about 4x. And then we create another website, and we link the content of those 30 websites to that other website, and eventually the website with the most amount of links gets on page number 1 of Google, and you make a ton of money. You know, it was like something like $400 per day just from AdSense alone, AdSense revenue. And so you can imagine that was a lot of money, you know, and because at the time $400 per website was the limit. All right, so if you exceeded that, then Google actually figures that there's something fishy about your website. That's how it worked back then. But with all these algorithms, it became really hard. The notion or came in the introduction of SEO, search engine optimization. I know you've heard of it if you're online. This is probably one of the first things that you hear about when you get online. All right, SEO, and they picture it like this, like a monster that you have to beat. And all right, SEO, you got really great SEO. All right, master SEO. Obviously, it turns out that SEO is just a way of Google, or just a way crafted by Google to make sure that you are building honest content. And it should meet certain criteria. Your content needs to be pure content that you created from research. It should not be a copied content that you scraped from other websites. And there is something called content scraping. Google punishes for that. And content scraping is basically when you go and you just take content from a website and you just hoard all the content and put it on your website. That's a ban. You know, that's 100% guaranteed ban from Google in the next 6 months if you do that. And so, yeah, that's scraping. Google needs to make sure that the content you produce is 100% legit. Then, of course, if your content is good, you're obviously going to get links from website because their content is good. And so, obviously, you need to have a HTTPS to your name. Your website needs to be secure. You have to have a secure domain. The ranking, you know, how is that article ranked? What the engagement from users. Are they just reading your blog for 30 seconds and then quitting, or are they reading it for 5 minutes? There's the notion of bounce rate. You know, how many people land on the page and then run away from it? You know, as we call it, the bounce rate. And so it became really, really complex. And besides, I mean, how much does AdSense pay you for 1,000 views? It pays you anywhere from $2.5 to $5 per 1,000 views. I mean, there are websites, big websites, that are struggling to get 10,000 views per day. And so, I mean, getting 10,000 views per day will pay you at the max $50 from Google AdSense, which is really, really cheap. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because if you have 10 of these websites, that's a lot of money. But one website could only make you about $1,000 from $1,000 to $1,500 in AdSense money. I mean, and that's really cheap compared to what it was back at the time before the Google algorithm updates.